Hey guys, I'm Dr. McFarland and welcome back to the channel. I am having fun messing around with the Prime unit from Headrush and the new 4.1 update. And there are some EQ options in the modeler that get you pretty close to that Metallica sound, probably regardless of which amp model you choose. Now, I have chosen the M2 lead, which is supposed to be the Mark II C plus whatever amp that they used back in the day in recording the Black Album, and I'm sure multiple other albums as well. So what we need to do and realize that on those Mesa Boogie amps, there's an extra EQ built into the faceplate there that gives you 750 hertz, like 1K, 4K, just whatever frequencies they are. I actually need to look it up real fast. What are those frequencies? Mesa M2, MK2, EQ controls. What do we have here? What do we have? So 1.5, 2.5. I'm trying to look. This is going to show it. Okay, great. Let me show you what we got here. Maybe. Maybe I won't show you. So we got 80 hertz, 240, 750, 220, and 6600. Okay. So with that said, let's try to recreate those sounds. There we go. I got the picture showing up now. All right. So those are our starting points of what we want to try to get on these EQs. So on the Headrush, we have a 10-band EQ, and we also have a another multi-band like a GE7, something like that. Okay, let's actually look at the Headrush Prime. You can probably see this a little bit easier. Okay, so looking at these frequencies, we do have 60, 200, which is a little bit lower than 220. Then we have 800, which is a little bit higher than 750. Then we have 3.2K, and we do have a 6 point something or other in there. Okay, so looking back at our amplifier, the 2200 and 6600 are going to be a little higher than what we're showing here, but not too bad. 3 is way higher than 2200, and 1.6 is a little bit lower. Let's see what we have the options on the 10-band frequency. So on this one, we have 125. We have a 2.6, or we have a 2K, which is just a little bit lower than 2200. And there's a 4K and an 8. So we don't really have the exact 6600 on that one, even though 6.4 is really close. All right, so let's just say, for example, that we go with this. Okay, this is with it off. And I am using the M2 lead channel, which is I kind of dialed it in last night on another video, but this is what it sounds like. Okay. Here it is with all the reverb and delay. Okay, that already sounds really good. But now let's bring in our GEQ, and this will get us pretty close. I have cut about 4 dB on the 800, and this actually boosts 200 a little bit. And then I also have boosted 3.2K, and I'll go ahead and boost a little bit of the 66.4, just like 2 dB. Not too much. I've also cut 400. We can experiment with that a little bit. There's also this view as well, if you don't want to see the horizontal sliders. So we got that thing. So here we go. not too bad. It's not perfect, but it, you know, it gets you in the ballpark. Here's the other 10-band EQ. We'll open the sliders so you can see what those look like. Once again, we're boosting 125. But that's not one of the actual frequencies. So 250 is a little closer to 225. So we'll boost that one, and then we're cutting 500, and we'll cut just a little bit of 1K. How about that? And then 4K, we don't really have a 66,000 range. We have a 4 and an 8. So I'll just go ahead and boost 4 a little bit. So you can see that we're definitely cutting more of the mids, the mid range here. We do have a 2K, which is fairly close to the 2200. So I'll be more prone to maybe boosting that one versus the 4. So let's just try this. All right, here we go. Here we go. Okay, very interesting, right? Taking down the 2K, maybe not cutting as much of the 500 and bringing back up the 1. Let's boost the 4 on this one and see what that does. Okay, that's really close. Let's go back to our other EQ and then listen one more time, and then we'll actually bring in a para EQ, and we can totally adjust whatever frequencies we want on that one. So okay, now taking the EQ off. Okay, that does sound really good. Let's bring in the para EQ now. Paradise. There's a promise EQ. What is this one? Let me see what frequencies we have. Frequency A. We can adjust anything we want. That's kind of interesting. Mid A. Master A. B. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that one. That was cool. We can probably do something with that, but I'm going to adjust another one. Auto cue band. This might be neat. So we can change our mid frequency. Oh, that's high mids. Low mids. High mid frequency. Low mid frequency. All right, so let's just try this. Let's try exactly 750-ish. And go to 745. It's pretty close. My low mid gain, I'm going to bring it down pretty far. Let's do like 4. My low frequency is going to be 220. Can it go that high? No, it can't. It can go, we have a low shelf as well. I'll just go 200 on that one. And then there's a lot of different parameters on here. So high mid frequency, let's make this 2200. Trying to get that exactly to what the EQ is on the other one. High mid frequency, high mid Q, high mid gain. We'll bring that one up. And then we do have even more down here. Okay. So high shelf, we have a high frequency. Let's make that 66. So I mean, it'd be way easier, honestly, if Headrush would just add a Mesa Boogie EQ as part of the EQ options. But, you know, we're trying to recreate what we're getting on that amp. Okay, so you can only do so much. We got low pass frequency, high pass frequency. This is interesting stuff here. Interesting stuff. High frequency, high shelf, high gain. All right, we're going to crank up the high gain here just a little bit. All right, let's try this one out. Let's try it. All right, cool. There's a lot of parameters in that one to mess around with. I might save that just for example. We'll call this dock Mesa Mark II. Maybe I can experiment with that one a little bit later. Let's move these heads down a bit. Let's just do one more. We're going to do one more EQ. Okay. And this one is the most flexible, probably. Let's look at the graphic EQ real fast. These frequencies are 100, 370, 800, 2, and 3, 3.25. So not exact. Okay. We're going back to our EQ here. We're going to a para EQ. All right, this is going to be interesting. So what am I going to do is this one, I'm going to make this a peak. See if we can peak this and we can make it exactly roughly 220. Okay. I'm also going to bring down the quality, which I don't understand why you can't click on this and change it. That is nuts. Let's make it like 0.2. Wow. Okay, let's actually make it 0.10. Wow. Okay. I do not understand why this doesn't work. That's stupid. Let's try this. Frequency 1, Q1. We'll bring the Q up here a little bit. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that's a way tighter Q. Let's make this one be 750-ish. Okay, let's go ahead and cut. Pretty shallow. Let's make the quality. Let's make the quality on this one Q2. Let's make it pretty shallow or pretty sharp. Okay. This top one, which we're going to make it a peak, we're going to make it 66, 6.600-ish. And then we also have a 2200. Okay, so you can see I'm literally just trying to recreate the frequencies the best I can. Maybe something like this. So actually, let's try to cut it first, just a little bit. And we will take this Q3 and we'll make it a little bit tighter. Okay, let's just see what happens. Okay, now that we have those figured out, let's adjust the gains a little bit. So maybe we'll cut the high one. Okay. Okay, 2200 definitely has a little too much honking nasal going on. Let's boost the top end. Maybe not cut as much on the mid-range. Maybe not boost as much on the lows. Let's do this. Okay, so let's compare and contrast. So this is without, which already sounds good. The pair EQ. It just really tightens it up. Here's the 10 band. Okay, here's the GQ. Okay, interesting. That has 100 hertz boosted. Let's cut that a little bit. Okay, and then let's try the auto EQ. So the original sound is a little muddy compared to some of these EQ curves that we're dialing in, which is interesting for sure. But all right, so Headrush, if you're listening, just give us a Mesa Boogie EQ option. Just those 5 bands. That's all we need. How many? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 80, 240, 750, 2200, and 6600. Okay. And if you do that, they'll make my life easier. So let me know what you think down in the comments. This is, all kinds of EQ options. You can do this with a Soldano, with the orange amp, with the Bogner stuff, with the PV stuff. Just literally any other amp model you can think of, and you can reshape the sound however you want, with a little bit of patience and a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of Google searching on, what these different amps provide. And this is why I think that we just don't need way more amp models on the Headrush, or really any other modeling unit, really. With the power of EQ, you can change the sound to literally be whatever you want. Okay, it's nuts how much control you have over these amps, but you have to have a little bit of knowledge of, how the amps work, how different EQ frequencies boost or cut, and how that changes the overall sound. And I think if you just took a little bit every day and experimented with things that kind of, your ear likes to hear, then you can go a long way in finding your own sound with any amp model that you choose. So hope you like that. There'll be a lot more coming soon. I'm just doing this new format of video where I literally just technically go live, whether that's public or unlisted, with no editing. Let's just go, go live and talk and demonstrate things. And if I say things weird or act stupid, then that's just the way it is. So let me know if you like this new format. It definitely cuts down on my time on trying to pre-record everything, edit everything, make the audio just perfect. And I don't think that's really what matters, or at least this time in my life where I'm just so busy doing other things. So yeah, let me know if you like the new format. And I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.